And now I will go through some basic post-processing in the Fluent, which you are well aware of that thing. And if required, you can also skip this section and use your own skills in the post-processing results in Fluent or CFD Post. But just for completing of this workshop, I have to add this thing. So first of all, I have to display the contour plots, and this can be displayed on, for example, pressure. I can plot pressure contours on the walls of this geometry and make it filled, and also on the 9 degrees bend. So you can see that pressure is almost constant, and then because of the sudden contraction and then sudden expansion, we have this low pressure and velocity increasing. And also we can see the impact of this flow on this corner, this area, and then after that you can see that again further we have this decrease in the velocity, decrease in the pressure at this location, and that must be with increase in velocity. And then we can see again it's recovering from this sudden change in the pressure value, and now it's recovering and it's gaining pressure again. And if I plot this value on some center plane, that we can create from the surface inside the results menu and create. And we are going to create the isosurface, and this is going to be along the 0 x-axis, along the 0 value of the x location. So from the surface of constant mesh, x coordinate, click on compute, and just keep the value of iso value as a 0 and click on create. And this will create a plane, and that plane is going through the middle of this geometry. And from here you can see the details of how this flow is behaving. And if I display velocity, you can see that the opposite will be true. So we have the increased velocity here and decrease the velocity on these corners, and this is separation region here, as you can see. And if we display the vector plots on the same location, you will get the fair idea that we have separation here or not. So you can see we have the sudden rush of the flow inside this small area, and I can change the scale. Let's say scale to the 0.1 and display, or maybe we can make this as a 0.3 and display. So you can see that we have this sudden change in the velocity, and also because of bend we have the separation zone here, and more velocity is going through this corner, and so higher velocity means we have low pressure here, and again we have the separation here, and you can see the reverse flow, and after that the flow is recovering at the slow pace. And to see that how the flow is behaving, you can select the in plane. So this will show you the projection of these vector plots on that plane. Apply and display. And also if you want to make the length as a fixed, so all vector plots, they will be of the same length, but from color you can identify where the velocity is higher, where the velocity is lower. And here you have to put some lower value, and this is you have to adjust this range yourself. In some cases some values are maybe useful, in some cases you have to check your values and then reduce or increase or decrease values of the scale over here. So you can see now the scale is means the length of vectors is same, but you can, from the color you can judge that this is low velocity, this is high velocity in the red color, and it is displayed on the one plane, and we can get the idea that the flow is attaching almost over here. And now I can display, let's say I can display here the path lines, and I can release these path lines from inlet, and I can skip the around, let's say starting you can skip 20 path lines, and this will be lighter on your computer, and you can display them easily. And also display the full view, full model on the screen. Also, I want to display the mesh in the faces form. Okay, so after displaying this geometry in the shaded part, I'm just going to display this model with some transparency, and we don't have any option in the mesh display. So for that I have to go to the view, and from here we have the graphics command and we have the compose command, and from here choose these wall conditions and then click on display. And after that I am going to change the transparency to some lower value. So means that if you make the transparency higher number, we can make the display as the instead of opaque we are going to display in the transparent way. And also we have to hide these nodes from here, and these lines, these edges, and these perimeter edges. And now you can see that this model is now in the somehow transparent way. And if you display path lines or some other variable, they will be displayed on the screen. So let's say now I'm going to display path lines and make the step size larger and number of steps more. So if the flow is releasing from this part, and maybe it is just finishing itself over here. So if you increase step size more, so every path line will have the more size, and because we are plotting 5,000 steps, so 5,000 into point will be equal to 500 steps we have here. And now display these path lines. So now you can see that we have path lines crossing whole geometry. But if you make just make them, let's say 50 or 500 and display, so you can see they are just ending over here. And if you make the 50, they will be ending maybe very early. So you have to set these parameters according to your problem, and you have to fine tune and you have to try some values to come up with some values which will give you the path lines through the whole geometry. And now I can see the flow which is going inside. And I can see there are the highly soil flow in this region, and this is the region where I put the point here. You can see the point here, and you can expect the flow must be transient here, and flow must be changing its value from iteration to iteration. So for that case, we have to run this case as a transient case, but I'm not doing it because I just want to demonstrate this case to you. And you can see this is how the flow is coming. And if you want to change the color, let's say it's a very highly green color, so might be you can play with these parameters. Apply, and again go back to this option here. So select them again and display, hide these options, uncheck these options, and change the colors, and red color here, and green color, blue color. So in this way you can adjust the display of this geometry in this way. And this is now much better. Previously it was all green, and you can see this how the flow is going. And if you want to skip less paths, you will get the more density of the path lines inside the geometry. You can see. And if you want to pulse this path line, so you want to see that how the flow is going, you can release them from one location and just pulse them. So the flow will start to come from the inlet, and then it will pass through the whole geometry. You can see now flow is coming. And now it is reaching it, depending on the step size. If the step size is small, you will have the very small size of this path line, and so it will complete the 5,000 steps. Now it is going through the 90 degrees bend and double contraction with the sudden expansion and the contraction. And see how the flow is behaving in this location. Some portion is in the reverse flow, it is trapped inside this region, and some flow is escaping, and then remaining flow is escaping also from here. And now you can turn off this display from here. Let's say now I just want to skip only 5 path lines. So you can display more path lines here. And now depending on your computer power, graphics power, maybe you need more sources. So might be on some old computers, some laptops, you may get strict. So you have to be very careful with these path skip. And if you want to change to the line arrows, you can also see the direction of the flow, how flow is going in which direction in the geometry. And display now. And now you have to play with these parameters that is whether it's okay for you or not. So maybe you can play with the attributes. You can play with the line width. Let's say I just make it 0.1. And I want to make the path skip to 20. So I can see clearly them on my screen. And spacing factor, let's say if I make spacing factor 2, so we'll have the more spacing between the path lines. And here we have the scale, so let's say I make the scale as a 0.1 and display. So you can see these heads of these path line arrows, they're small size now. And if I make it 2, you can observe what I'm meaning. So let's say spacing factor is 0.1, okay, and display. And now they are getting more dense. Again make it 4, and scale here is a 0.5, and okay, and display.